Hey guys, what's up? Look how fabulous this guy is. Look at him. He looks fabulous. Look at this guy. Looks so good. Anyways, welcome back to NTW3, the mod for Napoleon Total War. This mod makes it super realistic, adds a ton of historical units, adds a ton of factions. It just adds a lot to Napoleon, a much needed mod, because Napoleon, it could feel very bare bones. So it adds a lot to the game, and it's really fun. So this is actually the battle from a live stream I did about a week ago. A little bit longer than a week ago. So even if you've seen the live stream, I'm gonna kind of go over, what I was thinking in my head and kind of like my strategies in more detail, and you'll of course also see the battle in a more cinematic way, closer to the line. You can see the sit back, relax, enjoy the fight, and not watch someone try to command the troops and whatnot like a live stream. Anyways, if you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and jump in here because we are about to start off. So I'm playing as the French. I'm playing as the 1809, 1812 French. The mod, the way it's set up is that certain factions are stronger than others, and you'll see their strength score. It's kind of like a number next to the flag when you're selecting the faction. So the way it works is that each side both has to equal 28, at least for this round, 28 points. So as in, if you count up all the strength points that a faction has, that all three of the factions have, it has to equal to 28 points. So, for example, I believe I'm playing it. Well, no, I don't believe. I know I'm playing as France 1809 to 1812. I believe they are powered like a strength of 11 or 12. And then we have another French army. We have the Spanish army, the French army that went to Spain, 1807 to 1814, and then we have the Polish, who are joining. Look at that, the Polish. They are a Cav-focused faction, so you're going to see a lot of Cav from this army. So those are the three factions on my team side. We do have a cav charge coming for my skirmishers, my voltigeurs, or gers or jers. I don't know. You get what I'm saying. We've got the Austrians. We have the Spanish who are charging in, and then we have, I believe, the Prussians all the way over here, who are going to mostly be facing against the Polish. Let's go ahead and do normal speed and kind of go over what's going on here. We got a cav, some hussars going after my lights. This was a great play from the Spanish, and I did not expect it. I did not expect this at all. I think they kind of used the trees here to cover their advance. We have a lot more cav charging in as we speak, and this was complete panic mode for my forces, or for me, really, because I was more distracted by the Austrian. He had Austrian cav over here, and I really wanted to secure this road because I was setting up my artillery here. Because initially my plan was to aggressively push and take this hill, because we are playing the point system game here. Let me do some slow motion again just to clarify in case you're new to NTW3. The way it works is that it's not about killing the other army completely. It's about controlling the most points on the map, which you kind of fight over. So this cathedral right here is worth 4 points, and then I believe. Or no, I'm sorry. The town hall is worth 4 points. And then this building right here is worth 1. And then this building over here is worth 1. And then the building way in the back is right here. This one's worth 1. And then we have another one that's worth 4 points over here. Our strategy was to just take the 4, 5, 6. So we're taking this 4, right? That was our strategy. We didn't even care about the 4 over here. We just needed this 4 and then these 2 1s, and we won because we'd have a total of 6 points and they would only have 5 points. So we would win, and that's how you win in these games. But doesn't necessarily mean we won't kill each other's armies. There's always that way of winning as well. So that was the strategy, trying to gain control of this hill because I felt like it was going to be a major position on the map and just will really help us control the map. But I think our opponents also had the same idea. As you can see, Austria and the Spanish pushed up and are, trying to contest the hill, and they are certainly controlling the hill. So I had to move up my cav. Let's go back to normal speed. I had to move up my cav here. I've got some hussars, the 6th hussars, and they're doing a charge here against dragoons. Unfortunately, I don't really get a charge bonus off there, and his dragoons just dominate my hussars. I do another cav charge over in the center. I've got the 11th E hussars going in. And then I also have some cuirassiers charging in as well. The 5th cuirassiers, or cuirassiers. I never get that name right, but they're the very awesome heavy cav. And my hussars got dominated. And now my lights are getting chased, but thankfully I have some grenadiers that I'm going to throw into the front here and try to protect my skirmishers. And you can see that this battle is going very poorly for me at the beginning of this fight. This is like the first time I've played NTW in a very long time, and I've just kind of forgotten the control, not the controls, but you know what I mean. I'm a little rusty, so to speak. So it was a really good aggressive attack by the opponents. Now we are holding, thankfully. We've got some of my hussars who are returning to the battle. They saw the enemy cav breaking, and they had the spirit to fight again, so they're charging in. And then we have some more dragoons counter-charging as well. My French ally, the Spanish French, as I might refer to him, he is charging in some of his cav as well to try to help support me in this massive cav engagement. Also, I have more grenadiers that are in the thick of the fight, trying to support my cav in this melee, which it looks like it is working. And look at this. Here's some more grenadiers. So I'm going to line up and just shoot these guys. Boom. So classic Napoleon there with the sound not working at the beginning. So yeah, I thought personally at this point of the battle, and again guys, I think it would be fun for you guys to go back and kind of look at the live version, just to kind of get, to see me playing it live and my, natural reactions to all the events happening. But at this point, I felt pretty good about the engagement. I did lose a couple cav units, but so did they. They did charge my lights, but my lights are still intact. My grenadiers cleared the way. They did a fantastic job. I mean, I lost a good number of them, but they broke a lot of cav, and I felt like, with all things considered, I could have gone a lot worse, and I felt like I did a good job of, maintaining my lines and protecting what was out there, and it could have been, like I said, it could have been a lot worse. Now, it's going to be fun to kind of see the fight over here with Poland against Prussia, because I didn't really get to watch it too much, so I don't even know what goes on over here. But yeah, Poland's got his cav. It looks like the Prussians have positioned himself on this hill, and this is actually pretty big, and I think the Polish player thought the same thing, but because as you can see, we have divided their forces. Prussia is completely separated from his allies. So that was a great play.
Our general is under attack.
Yes, thank you. That was a great play by the Polish, who are just keeping them away from this main fight. Meanwhile, my Spanish-French, this French-Spain army is pushing hard with his troops. It looks like he's got some German troops over here, pretty cool, that are pushing forward to engage in the center, because this is going to be a very important location on this fight. Now, if we go back to what I'm thinking at this point, I go, okay, well, I wanted to take control of this hill, but it's not going to happen. The Austrians control it. So I think what I'm going to do here is just kind of, I was just going to pretend I was going to go for the hill, but mostly keep trickling in reinforcements to the center, which I'm doing right now, guys, as we speak. I've got my grenadiers supporting the fight in the town. So these grenadiers have seen all the action. I got another unit of grenadiers moving up as well. And I've got them just kind of firing at the flank, at the end line of the Spanish, and it actually causes them to fall back. And they kind of join lines here with the Prussians, who have some troops in the tree line. Now over here, yeah, we have a very well played by Austria. sneaks in some cav to go after my artillery. My infantry wasn't in position. This is like my crappy guard units. Originally, this was going to be a small force to protect my artillery, but of course I wasn't paying attention, and unfortunately the cav is going to kill the artillery. So I'm kind of panicking again. I was pretty upset. I was like, man, that really sucks. Like, I hate to lose artillery like that, but the battle isn't over, and I really need to kill these guys because I don't want cav, you know, running around behind my lines. So I'm trying to shoot him a little bit. Good volley there by these National Guard. I do have some cuirassiers that are making their way to this cav, but I also have another cav unit that I don't think I've engaged them. Oh no, they fought a little bit, but they're hanging out in the street. So another heavy cav unit. So I'm gonna try to sandwich him between my two units of cav, which I feel like should be plenty enough to defeat him. Now I see him running forward, and I keep thinking, okay, he's gonna move, right? He's not gonna keep charging, but he actually does decide to charge against my cav, which was really surprising because now he's gonna be stuck between two units of cav. So honestly, if I was him, I would have tried to get my cav out of there, but instead he just kind of threw them into the fight. So this was really good for me, and I need to rush over there. Come on, quickly. There we go. We break them. So let's go back over here. Let's see how this is going. I still have my grenadiers kind of firing at the flank. We have Poland who's charging. Look at this. Poland sending over some support. It charges the center line of the Spanish. I think he's just trying to keep the Spanish honest. He was trying to, you know, oftentimes getting your opponent to go into square formation can really help with your line infantry. But the Spanish do a great job of holding against the Polish. But he is taking some heavy losses here against France, my ally France. Which, by the way, you'll see his name at the end of this this battle. But big shout out to the French player. One, he was super helpful with the game. He was just a chill dude. I enjoyed playing with him. So if you're watching this, appreciate you, man. You know, you got on the Discord during a live stream and you were helping me out. I do appreciate that. So once again, thanks for playing with me, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you. But yeah, I'm still just kind of sitting in this tree line with the buildings, kind of protecting my men. I don't really see an opportunity. I don't really see a point of pushing here. Again, what my plan is here is to keep the Austrians honest. Keep them honest. And I notice, you know, they're on a hill, but I can kind of use this against them because the Austrians have a big chunk of their force taking on my opponent. Or, I'm sorry, not my opponent, my ally. You see this? He's got a couple units here. I mean, he's firing at my grenadiers, but he's got a big chunk of units kind of over here. And I'm looking at the Austrian line, and I'm thinking, you know, he's probably not going to leave that hill. That's what hill campers do. And I'm not saying he's a camper because, hey, if I had control of the hill, I would do the same thing. I probably would eventually leave the hill, but I had a feeling he was just going to sit on this hill. So I was thinking, you know, I don't necessarily have to do anything. All I have to do is occasionally support my ally, which is the French player, and make sure he beats the Spanish. And if he does that, then he's going to be able to hit the flank of the Austrians. And when he hits the flank of the Austrians, that's when I, you know, boom, that's when I move forward and we're hitting the Austrians on two sides. So all I have to do right now is keep them honest. I have my units. Look at this position right here. Perfect. They're on a hillside. The artillery cannot hit them thanks to the terrain. The artillery might be able to hit these guys a little bit. That's okay. And I'm also stretching my lines to go very far. And I'm trying to use my lights because they have a longer range. So I was going to try to use my lights to harass the Austrians and keep them busy, keep them honest, and see how that goes. So, big juicy fight going on in the center. As we are speaking, I have my grenadiers moving behind my allies' lines. Originally, I was just going to keep him in reserve, but he's like, hey, you know what? Why don't you take those grenadiers and take control of the town hall? So my troops are now on the way to the town hall. They also opened fire on some Spanish cav that is looking for a weak spot. But there's a lot going on over here. Holy crap. There's some big old cav engagements here between the Polish and the Prussians. And of course, I think the Polish are going to win the cav engagement. I'm pretty sure, because they have a very large cav force. But yeah, Poland's doing a great job. He's keeping the Prussians away. He is trying to keep the Prussians away from the main fight so we can focus on this area over here. And here we go. Here comes my grenadiers that are charging the very fancy town hall. And this is the four-pointer, guys. We are fighting for the 4 points. My troops go in here. Oh, we can actually go in the building. Look at this. I charge! God! This is sick. Clear them away from the windows. No more sniping for you, scum. It's over. Look at that. It would be cool if you, like, pushed them out the window. There we go. Nice. Clearing the building one floor at a time. Yes. That's awesome. Very cool. So we take control of the building. This is where the Spanish decide to mass rush. You can see that they just mass rush. Now, one thing I didn't know until like the day I was playing this is that this is kind of frowned upon in the NTW3 community. I guess just the way the morale works, like just spamming troops in a charge like this, the way they're doing it is kind of like, it's not against the rules per se, but it's poor etiquette. But that's okay. I mean, I don't know if he meant to do it or whatever, but you can see that he broke a huge French force there on the flank, and now the French are having to regroup. The sad thing is that my grenadiers, who just conquered this town hall, is now going to be cut off. Now, the good news is I'm shooting at the backs of the Spanish, but the Spanish will be able to countercharge without my ally being able to support me. And it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. He's got some infantry. He's going to push into the town hall, which my men are trying to very bravely. Look at us shoot through the windows. Look at that. It's so sick. Ah, fire, man, fire. That is so awesome. I love that. I like being able to fly around the house and see that. There we go. My lights are now opening fire. This is perfect, guys. He doesn't have an answer for it. He doesn't have an answer. And you know, we saw the Austrians get really aggressive, right, with their cav early on. Well, guess what? They've got 1 unit of cav left.
Our men
I've
are
got
running,
2.
sir.
So I'm going to be able to be aggressive with them. And I'm kind of moving my cav around behind his lines. And I didn't plan on attacking. I just wanted him to be annoyed by me. And I wanted him to eventually leave the hill. That would be perfect. Get him to attack me. That would be perfect. But for now, hey, he's just going to sit there. I'm just going to sit there too. Now, I did notice over here that the Austrians pushed up a unit of line infantry. Some German line infantry. So I thought, okay, well, if you're going to do that, I'm going to send over some line infantry as well. And my plan is to kind of thread the needle. I'm going to put them right here and kind of shoot at the flanks of this line infantry. Now, of course...
Our men are running, sir.
Oh, there we go. They took the town hall, unfortunately. That was, yeah. They took back... so it's changed hands 3 times now. The Spanish took it, I took it, and then the Spanish took it back. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can push them back and take this building. But the fighting is still going on very aggressively here. Look at this. Look at this front line. Front line battle. Oh, look at these guys. What are these guys? They're wearing kilts? Oh, they're like volunteers? Look at these. It looks like kilts. They're like Scottish. But it's Spain. Very cool. So it's a pretty intense firefight. You can see France is moving up more of their reserves. Really got to send as much to the fight as they can. Poland is sending up some line infantry as well to help the French. God, look at that firefight. That is so sick. I love this mod. It is like one of the most like realistic Total War games you can play. It is awesome. But yeah, they're really going to ham right now. Look at that. Look at the Austrians. They're really... I feel like I'm looking at Gettysburg here, or the Union lines trying to hold this, you know, the defensive position. Sort of like a fish hook almost in a way. Not exactly, but pretty close. And I'm just stretching out his lines, but I won't make the same mistake as Robert E. Lee. I'm going to, take my time here. I'm not going to mindlessly charge. Not that Robert E. Lee mindlessly charged at Gettysburg, but yeah, anyways, not to get into that. Anyways, I am moving my troops up a little bit because I do have what I was going to say earlier. I lost a unit of artillery, but I do have another one over here. It's just set up in a bunch of dead horses. And I'm using that artillery to try to silence his artillery, or at the very least make his artillery shoot at mine. But look at this. This is great. Like, they can't see anything. They can't see anything. Now, the troops up here can see my infantry a little bit better. But I am slowly moving up my men. Again, I like how this is going. I want to put pressure on the Austrians. And yeah, things are going pretty well. I've got 2 units. These are my 2 units, by the way. You can, again, his says Spain in French. This is Spain here, and my army just says France. So just keep that in mind. So these 2 units are mine, and I'm starting to see some great progress here. His Hungarian infantry is starting to break here, which is great. So hopefully we can kind of put some pressure on the Austrians. Also, yeah, Poland's doing a good job too as well. They are protecting our rear and preventing the Prussians from being able to show up as a kind of support unit. By the way, I love these uniforms. They're very like 1700s. Very cool. All right, let's go back over here. What do we got? We're gonna... Oh yeah, France is fighting for the town hall again, the 4-pointer. But look at the fighting over here. Look at the carpet of dead in this current town. I mean, it's just a brutal battle for the town that is going pretty well, I would say. Considering the beginning of the fight, I think this is going pretty well. Now, oh, dang it. The cab charge. Okay. We missed it. Okay, let me slow motion this. Let me explain what... Because this was genius. I felt so proud about this tactic because there was a big risk here. This is what happened. That sucks. I was over here looking at stupid stuff. Okay, so what happened is that I had my cav. So the reason I pushed up my infantry is because... Okay, it's been a while since I played the battle, so I kind of forgot what was going through my head. The reason I moved up my infantry is so that I could cav charge his artillery. So if I have my line infantry firing at his, he will waste his shots firing at my line infantry. So if I didn't move up my line infantry and then charged in my cav, then obviously the line infantry would have focused my cav. So I'm basically using my infantry to screen from my cav. My cav is right here. I quickly run them through the gap. They charge forward, and I actually kill the artillery right here. Look, it's been destroyed. The crew is gone. And what you saw there was the tail end of that, where the Austrians countercharged. I don't know if he was like just upset about it or what. And he went after my cav that safely made it back. And that was such a big play. I couldn't believe I pulled that off. That was awesome. So, yeah, very cool fight. Very cool situation. I was feeling pretty... Honestly, I was feeling pretty proud of myself in this part of the battle because,
our men are running, sir.
NTW3 is way different from vanilla, and I felt like I was handling myself pretty decently in this fight, especially with the shaky beginning. I feel like I'm recovering quite well, and I'm really stretching out the Austrians here, making them work for that hill. Making them work for that hill. So it's very good, very good. And look at this. We're even getting aggressive here. We are getting aggressive. The counterattack to take the town hall failed. He's sending in another unit here. So he's got the 100th line infantry charging in. They should take it. I think they can take it. Well, they are taking on Grenadiers, so I don't know. It's going to be a close fight. We'll see how that plays out. But we are taking back land that we lost. You can see just where the lines were. This was the center of the line. You can tell by all the dead soldiers, but now we are pushing forward. The Polish are moving forward as well, going after infantry. So really trying to harass the Spanish infantry. I also have a unit of cav that I'm sending over to harass the Spanish. So we're really trying to overwhelm the Spanish so we can take control of this town. Here comes another charge of cav going in against the Spanish, forcing them into square formation. That's exactly what you want to do, because that puts them at a disadvantage against the other line infantry that's firing at them. In Spain, looks like they're going in for a charge again. Look at this. They are going in for a charge. France has made, look at these French uniforms. They've made a square formation to hold on. So cool. So cool. So this was awesome over here too, by the way, guys. My lights caused the Austrians to leave the hill. This is what I wanted. He's now pursuing my light infantry. And the reason I'm running away is because obviously you don't want your line infantry to go toe-to-toe with line infantry, because they will lose. So I'm just trying to keep my distance. And he is flanking me right now, so all I'm going to do is just fall back. Yeah, classic. I mean, it was not my... Like, this is what I wanted. If he moved forward, I just fall back. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So now, guys, that's going to put these units in an awkward position. They're getting harassed. This line infantry is about to turn and shoot them as well. It's exact. I feel like this is like hill camp, taking on hill campers like 101 right here. You know what I mean? Like, you really got to make the hill campers uncomfortable and harass them. I felt like I was doing a pretty good job there. Again, pretty proud of myself. Sure, I could have done things better, but I like how this is turning out. Keeping the Austrians busy. I do have my cav over here, kind of harassing the Austrians. I kept telling them to disengage, but they weren't listening. But finally they're disengaging. The French have, I think, yeah, we've broken pretty much the Spanish. The Spanish forces, what's left of them, are regrouping at the town hall. I think he's sending everything he has in the town hall to hold on to it as much as possible. And look, he can sit in there and rot, okay? That's fine, because our strategy of taking control of the town is working. Now my French ally, the Spanish French, is going to be able to push up here and swing around against the Austrians. So now we're going to have the Austrians surrounded. Check this out. Check this out. Like, he's still pursuing me here. I don't know what happened here. My troops... Yeah, my troops did not retreat, and they held their ground, which is going to cause them to break. Obviously, they cannot withstand a bayonet charge from the Austrians. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't know if we saw it, but the Prussians have Bluche. Bluche. It was like, I am 72 and a proud soldier. Raise the black flags. Good old Waterloo quotes there. Bluche is such a funny character. But, oh, great charge by the Polish into the Prussian lines. You can see that Poland's doing a good job here of keeping the Prussians away from the fight. Honestly, guys, this is a divide and conquer type battle. Look at this. Now we have French cav charging into the town hall. France is going full pedal to the metal, going for the, the town hall and just taking control of it.
Our men are running, sir.
And I'm constantly, unfortunately, he catches another light unit out of position. My units were tired. Apparently there's a glitch in the mod where if you have your lights in skirmish mode or something, they will get exhausted even though when they're not fighting. So my guys were exhausted and they could not outrun the German line infantry. But that's okay. It's still going pretty well. And I'm just constantly like pushing. Like, all I want to do here is keep the Austrians occupied so my ally can get behind and harass them on the other side. That's the plan. And there we go. Once again, the town hall changes hands for like the 4th or 5th time. And now the French control the 4-point building. Hell yeah, let's go, boys. Let's do it. The Polish are keeping the Prussians busy. The Prussians have their hands full with all the Polish cav that is charging in and causing quite the chaos. Very cool. Very cool. So, yeah, I'm just, I feel like the Austrians could easily push. I mean, they've done a lot of damage to me. I mean, obviously, I'm taking on a superior position. They've got the high ground. They've got defensive, positioning. They have artillery. And I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. And I'm just trying to keep, like I said, just trying to keep him busy. Trying to make sure that he has someone to fight him in this front, because obviously I don't want to get too aggressive and then lose my army, and then he can quickly turn and face the other French army. That's exactly what we don't want. We want to be able to overwhelm him, and now he's getting double teamed. That is perfect. By the way, guys, these 2 units, because we were both French, I kept thinking this was my allies' units. These are my units right here. Whatever, I'm keeping them fresh. They're reserve force. That works. We got the 34th E. Two of them. 34th Regiment. But there we go. Now I'm kind of shifting my units into the tree line, which will give them a little bit more protection. I've got 2 units going over there. My ally is pushing up his infantry as well.
Our men are running, sir.
And unfortunately, some of my units are starting to break. You can see he's pushing over here as well. So I'm just constantly playing the kite game. I'm just constantly reforming, letting him push forward. That's perfectly fine. As long as he doesn't as long as he doesn't kill my army, we are good, guys. We are good. We also have 2 units of artillery firing. We got this unit, and then we have my allies' unit of artillery. Just, constantly, hitting the line infantry of the Austrians. Whoa. So speaking of artillery, did you see that? That was crazy. Saw troops flying over there. And there we go. Look at this cav charge. We have the 2nd Hussars of my ally going in, killing the artillery. That's the last artillery for the Austrians.
Our men are running.
And I also have my cav units. It's kind of going behind the lines here and trying to kill some units. Now, back over this way, the Spanish actually charge a section of my line infantry with these grenadiers and cause a massive break here. It was not good. My National Guard troops, they were going after them, but they're not going to last. Look at, they're getting annihilated. They don't stand a chance. So I saw that and I was like, oh, this isn't good. I just need to keep reforming, regrouping, and hopefully my ally can push in and start inflicting damage. Now over on the other side, look at this. Look at this massive. I think we had a massive charge here. The Prussians, oh, the Prussians are breaking. Blücher has died. I am a proud soldier. I'm 72 and a proud soldier. Doesn't quite sound like that, but I will kill any man that has mercy in his heart, or whatever he says. Has pity in his eyes. I don't remember what he says, but. And here we go. The general's bodyguard wants revenge, so they're gonna charge into their own men and get shot by their own men. I don't know what's going on there. They charge into some Polish boys, but they're like, nah, we like sausages and fighting for Napoleon, living that Polish dream. But yeah, Prussia is crumbling right now. Poland did a great job against them, and now we're just kind of holding on over here, where the Austrians are kind of putting up their last stand. I finally realized, hey, these 2 units in reserve, these are my units. So I'm going to push them into position, and I'm going to send them over to this flank over here, where the Austrians, with a little help from the Spanish, have kind of harassed the flank of my lines and have taken some ground. But that's okay. They're pushing to me which technically I'm kind of on a hill here, especially from the angle that they're coming from. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I got fresh reserves coming this way, baby. Hope you're ready to fight. Hope you're ready to boogie. We got Cav kind of riding around here. My lights are still harassing this German line infantry. But my Cav is looking for an opportunity. I'm trying to rest them. They're tired. They're exhausted. So I really need to let them rest and wait for a opportunity to strike. And look, he's trying to protect his general here. This is clearly the Austrians' last stand. Here we go. Here comes some French troops. Ready to hold the hill.
Sir, and must rest a while.
Ready to hold the hill. So yeah, it's looking good. Looking really good. I was hoping at this point that some of these units would return. Some could return. They're only routing. They're not shattered. Which, of course, if they're shattered, they won't return. So I was hoping these guys would return and then get a flanking fire on the Austrians, who are now engaging my newest kind of like end of the line forces here. Also, my artillery has a fantastic angle on these Dutch line infantry, or not Dutch, Deutsch, German line infantry. So yeah, they're opening fire on them, and we're getting some great artillery hits. Look at that, boom, boom. Yeah, you can't handle it. And over here, we're still pushing. And then meanwhile, the Polish have conquered the Prussians, and a beautiful fight. I know we didn't really see too much of this, but Poland just dominated, just absolutely dominated. They do have some musketeers here, but they don't really stand a chance against these Polish lines. So good job to the Polish player. Great job. And looking at the time that's left in this battle, I feel like, you know, all we have to do is defeat the Austrians, and we win, right? All we have to do is defeat the Austrians. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a brain fart. I am a little bit sleep deprived. I'm not going to lie. When recording this, I'm working on like 4 hours of sleep. So if I said something stupid during the replay, that's probably why. But what was I saying? Oh, all we have to do, I'm thinking we can win this battle by defeating all of our opponents. We just have to get through Austria. I think the only way Austria could potentially beat us is if something crazy happens and he chain routes us and takes control of all the buildings and wins by the time running out. But he's got 20 minutes, so we'll see. Now, we are doing a very good job over here. We've broken a couple of the Austrians. I've got some lights that ran over and is harassing the backs of the Austrians as they were advancing. I think that's why they're giving up and reforming with the rest of the line. And since they're doing that, I am now pushing up my line infantry. See if I can push up really quickly and try to hit them before they form up. Let's see. Ready? Come on, man. Aim! Fire! They kind of just fire at will, don't they? That's fine. That works. God, these fights are so cool. Just so realistic. So awesome. And there we go. I've got my lights harassing the German line infantry. So the lights are getting some revenge here as they got constantly charged by these guys. Look, they're getting charged again. Like, no.
Our men are running, sir.
Who's running? One of my light units. They just couldn't take it anymore. That's okay. We didn't need you anyways. But yeah, we outnumber them by so much. I was thinking, you know, at this point of the battle, I'm sure I could like easily send maybe this 34th line infantry to kind of go around the flank and kind of get a direct flank fire on these guys. Now, of course, I was trying to defeat these German line troops. And you can see he formed square because I'm charging in my my cav. But that's okay. That's fine. I'm just going to disengage and let my lights continue to do what they do best. It's a back and forth game. I wasn't trying to fully, or was I trying to fully charge my cav into them? Probably not. I'm going to disengage. And I'm going to make them sit in square as they get shot at by my lights. Wait, what are you guys shooting at? What, are you shooting at Spanish that are running away? What are you doing? That's horrible. Just turn around. Face the Germans. They're right here. The Austrians. I say German because they're German line infantry, but you get what I'm saying. And there we go. So I'm just going to run these guys away. I do the same thing. I charge in my cav. And that causes them to form square, and that buys me more time. And I should turn these. There we go. I turn the cav around. That gives me time to run away my lights. And we are Gucci. Now I go ahead and charge in some infantry here. Because I'm ready. I'm like, this is, come on. Come on, Austria. You're done. You're done. So there we go. I charged in some line infantry. And I'm getting really aggressive. You know me. I like to get aggressive. I don't like to sit back for too long. And now my units are moving up. I'm still trying to shoot the German lines over here, but pretty good flanking fire. Both the Gyros, I got one firing here. I got one firing over on the other side. So we're hitting them from two sides. It's killing their morale. They're getting chewed up. And here we go. Once again, I keep charging this unit in.
One of our units has used all its ammunition,
My
sir.
lights have used up all their ammo. That's how long they've been fighting. My light infantry, man, they're such troopers. They've been fighting since the very beginning of this battle. So they saw the beginning charge, which they got charged by Cav, and now they're seeing the end of this fight as well. So big props to I'm glad I brought them. They did a lot for me in this battle, like harassing the Austrians and everything. And now they go in and they break. Look at that. They break the German line infantry. How about that? Over here, we're charging into some more Austrians, trying to quickly get them off the battlefield. I've got units firing at their backs. And you can see the Austrians are forming their final defensive positions around their general. And it's only a matter of time. I can't believe this unit broke my Frenchman, though. What? How? I was pretty upset about that. I was like, come on. But we do break the Germans here, or, I'm sorry, these are German line infantry. The Austrian line infantry, they're broken. The French charge in their cav against the general. And there you have it, guys. That's the battle. As this was a very fun battle, very intense. If you haven't seen the live version, I do recommend you watch it. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward because the Austrians formed square there and try to put up their last stand. But that was great teamwork. It really was a divide and conquer. It was a great job by Poland keeping the Prussians away from the main fight. And that's such a huge deal because the Spanish and the Austrians had superior positioning to us. They had the hill, they had the houses, and I feel like if the Prussians were over there to reinforce those defensive positions, this battle might have been a defeat. So a big shout out to British Emperor for doing a good job of keeping the Prussians away. Unlike the French were able to do at Waterloo, he kept the Prussians away and we won the battle. So big shout out to General Krabs. He did a great job. Look at the kills with the Polish player. Very good player. So that was a lot of fun, guys. I really enjoyed this one. If we look at the unit stats here really quick, who did the most? The 8th Cuirassiers. I never get that name right. 169 kills. And then my 34th line infantry here getting 117. So how about that? How about that? So that was really fun. I definitely want to try to do more of these battles. But I hope you guys enjoyed this battle as much as I did. And let me know how you thought the battle went. And maybe something I could have done better. I'm sure there's a lot I can improve on. But it was a bloody one. It was a fun one. I do appreciate you guys getting on, watching the battle. I enjoy your company. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you next time on the battlefield.